Hello everyone and welcome back to Mathematical Mindset. So right here guys, in this video I'm going to solve the CBT JAMB examination past questions for 2024 from question 1 to question 25. So this video will be shared into two parts. Now JAMB question is usually 50 questions, so I'm going to answer 1 to 25 in this video, and in the next video I'm going to answer the next part right there. So guys, let's get started. So we have the first question here that says evaluate the determinant of the matrix M, which is equal to 3 4 6 2 1 and negative 1, negative 1 3 and 5. Now we are to find the determinant of this matrix right here. So the determinant of M is equal to, now we have this to be plus, minus, and what? Plus. So we have plus 3 into, which simply implies that the first column and the first row is going to go out, and once we do that we have 1, negative 1, 3 and 5 to be left. Then we go to the next, which is what? Minus 4. This implies that the column and row that belongs to negative 4 will go out, so this and this is going to go out, so we have 2, negative 1, negative 1 and 5 to be left. Then plus 6. Now this implies the column and row that belongs to plus 6 will be out, so we have 2, 1, negative 1 and 3 to be left. Alright, so this is equal to 3 multiply. Now this is going to multiply and this is going to multiply, then we minus. Okay, so we have 1 times 5 minus into negative 1 times 3 minus 4 multiply 2 times 5 minus into minus 1 times minus 1 plus 6 into 2 times 3 minus into minus 1 times 1. Okay, so this is equal to 3 into 1 times 5 is 5 minus 1 times 3 is going to give us minus 3 minus 4 multiply 2 times 5 is 10 minus negative 1 times negative 1 is going to give us 1 plus 6 into 2 times 3, we have this to be 6 minus into minus 1 times 1 is going to give us minus 1. So this is equals to 3 into 5 minus 3 is going to give us 8 minus 4 into 10 minus 1 is 9 plus 6 into 6 minus 1 is going to give us what? 7. So we have this to be equal to 3 times 8 is going to give us 24 minus 4 times 9 is going to give us 36 plus 6 times 7 is 42, and this is equal to 30. So this is the answer and this becomes C. So we have option C to be the answer to the first question, which says we have to find the determinant of this matrix. So right here guys, let's go into question 2. Alright, so question 2 says find the amount if simple interest is paid yearly at 5% per annum for 3 years on a principal of 200,000 naira. Now we have to find the amount, and we know that amount is given as principal plus interest. Alright, so we have to find the simple interest first. So we have that simple interest, which is given as I, is equal to P times R times T divide what? 100, where P represents principal, R represent the rate, and T represent the what? Time. Okay, so we have that interest is equals to, now we have the principal to be 200,000 times, now we have the rate to be 5%, which is times 5, times the time, we have it to be 3, divide what? 100. So this we cancel out this we cancel out this, so we have that interest is equals to 2000 times 5 times 3. So interest is equals to 2000 times 5 times 3 is going to give us what? 30,000. So we have 30,000 to be the interest. Now we have to look for the amount, and we know that amount is equal to principal plus interest. So we have this to be amount is equals to, now the principal, we have the principal to be 200,000 plus interest, and we have interest to be what? 30,000. So this is equal to 200,000 plus 30,000. This is going to give us 230 what? 1000, and this becomes the answer. And from our option, we have that to be what? D. Alright, so this is how you can solve question number 2. So right here, let's go into the next question. Alright, question number 3. Y is inversely proportional to x and y is equal to 4 when x is equals to 1 over 2. Find x when y is equal to 10. Alright, so from here we have that y is inversely proportional to what? X. So this is how it is if it's inversely proportional. So this implies that y is equals to what? K over what? X. So first thing we want to simply solve for k, and the question says that y is inversely proportional to x and y is equals to 4 when x is equals to 1 over 2. So for us to find k, we want to make use of when y is equals to 4 and x is equals to what? 1 over 2. So we have that 4 is equals to k divide 1 over 2. 4 is equals to k divide 1 over 2 if you arrange this properly. So 4 is equals to k times 2 over 1. 4 is equals to k times 2 is going to give us what? 2k. So from here we have that if you divide both sides by what? 2 to get the value of k, this we cancel out this, so we have that k is equals to what? 4 divided 2 is going to give us what? 2. So we have been able to solve for the value of what? K. Now let's simply find x when y is equals to what? 10. So given that we are looking for x when y is equal to what? 10. All right, so we have the formula to be y is equals to what? K divide x. So we know that y is equals to 10, which is equals to k. We have k to be 2 divide what? X. Cross multiply, we have 10 times x is equals to what? 2. So we have 10x is equals to what? 2. Divide both sides by 10 to isolate what? X. So this we cancel out this. We have that x is equals to 2 here 1. 2 into 10 is 5, so we have 1 over 5. So we have that x is equals to 1 over 5, and this makes C to be the correct what? Option. So let's take a look at the next question. Alright, so right here we have question number 4, and question number 4 says find the angle subtended by an arc 33 centimeter long of a circle of a diameter 28 centimeter. And from here we know that the length of an arc is given as, now the length of an arc is given as theta over 360 times 2 pi r. Alright, now we have that we have to find the angle of the length of an what? Arc. Now from the question we know that the length of an arc is given, and the length of an arc is given to be what? 33 what? Centimeter. Alright, of a diameter 28 meters. So we have that the diameter is equal to what? 28 centimeters. So we have to look for the radius, and you know that diameter over 2 is equals to what? Radius. So this implies that 28 divided 2 is equals to what? 14 centimeters. So we have been able to have our radius. So from here we know that radius is equals to what? 14 centimeters. Putting the values into the equation, we have that the length of an arc is what? 33, which is equal to what? Theta over 360 times 2 times pi, which is 22 over 7, times radius, which is what? 14. Okay, so from here we know that 2 here is 1. 2 into 360 is going to give us 180. Now 7 can still divide 14, so 7 here 1. 7 divide 14, we have this to be 2. So we have that 33 is equals to theta over 180 times 22 times what? 2. So we have to look for the angle, and the angle is what? Theta. So making theta the subject of formula, this is equal to 33 times 180 divide 22 times what? 2. Okay, so from here we have that theta is equals to 33 times 180 is going to give us 5,940 divide 22 times 4 is going to give us 44, and once we divide this, theta is equal to what? 135 what? Degree, and this becomes the answer. So taking a look at the option right here, we have D to be the correct what? Answer. So guys, that is how you can solve this question right here. So let's take a look at question number 5. Alright, so right here we have question number 5. Solve 16 raised to the power of x is equals to 0.25. That is, we have to find the value of x. So we have 16 raised to the power of x is equals to 0.25. This can be rewritten as 16 raised to the power of x is equals to, now simply change this decimal to fraction. This is 25 divide 100. which is equals to 25 here is 1. 25 into 100 is 4. So we have 16 raised to the power of x is equals to 1 over 4. Now we can easily express 16 in terms of 4 as 4 raised to the power of 2 or raised to the power of x is equals to. Now we know that if we have 1 over a, this is equals to a raised to the power of negative 1. Okay, so applying this here, we have this to be 4 raised to the power of negative 1. And also we know that if we have a raised to the power of m or raised to the power of n, this is equals to a raised to the power of mn. So applying this, we have this to be 4 raised to the power of 2x, which is equals to 4 raised to the power of negative what? 1. Now right here, since the bases are the same, all we have to do is to equate the what? Exponent. That is to say, if we have a raised to the power of m is equals to a raised to the power of n, then this implies that m is equals to what? N. So applying this, we have this to be 2x is equals to negative 1. Divide both sides by 2 to find the value of x. So this we cancel out this. So therefore, we have that x is equals to negative 1 over what? 2. And this becomes the answer. So taking a look at the option, we have that A to be the correct what? Answer. So let's go on to question number 6. Alright, so right here we have question number 6. The ratio of men to women in a 20-member committee is 3:1. How many women must be added to the committee to make the ratio of men to women 3:2? Alright, so the first thing guys you want to do is to write out your parameters. So the question says the ratio of men to women. Now the ratio of men to women, we have it to be what? 3:1. Okay, now next we want to write the number of committee members. Now we have that the number of the committee members is what? At 20. From the question, this is equals to what? 20. Now we have that the number of men in the committee. Now in order for us to solve the number of men in the committee, this is equal to 3/4. How did we get 3? So from here, the ratio of men, which implies that 3 belongs to men and 1 belongs to the what? Women. Divide the total ratio, which is 3 plus 1 is 4, times the number of committee members, which is what? 20. So this is equals to 4 here 1. 4 into 20 is 5. So 3 times 5 is what? 15. So we have that the number of men in the committee is what? 15. Next, we have to solve for the number of women in the what? Committee. So the number of women in the committee is given as, now the ratio of women is 1 over the total ratio, which is 3 plus 1, which is 4, times the number of committee members, which is what? 20. So this is equals to 4 here 1. 4 into 20 is 5. So 1 times 5, we have this to be what? 5. Alright, so we have been able to get the number of men and women in the committee. So next we have that the new ratio is given as what? 3:2. The new ratio was given as 3:2. Now we're going to say let the number of women to be added to the ratio, to make the ratio 3:2 be what? X. So hence we have that 3:2 is equal to the number of men in the committee is 15 ratio, the number of women is 5 plus, now the number of women added, we say let it be x, so plus what? X. So we have this to be 3/2 is equals to what? 15 divide what? 5 plus what? X. So we cross multiply, we have 3 into 5 plus x is equals to what? 15 times what? 2. Alright, so we have 3 times 5 is 15 plus 3 times x is 3x, which is equals to 15 times 2 is going to give us what? 30. So we have that 3x is equals to 30 minus 15. 3x is equals to what? 15. Divide both sides by 3 to isolate x. So this we cancel out this. So x is equals to 15 divided 3. We have this to be what? 5. So we have that the value of x is 5. So the number of women to be added to make the ratio 3:2 is equal to what? 5. And that makes B to be the correct what? Answer. Okay, so let's go on to the next question right here. Alright, now question number 7 says P operation Q is equals to 2P plus PQ plus Q. Find P when P operation 2 minus P operation 1 is equals to what? 40. Now from the question we have that P operation Q is equals to what? 2P plus PQ plus what? Q. Now from the question we have to look for P when P operation 2. Now from here we are going to say P operation 2 minus what? P operation 1 is equals to what? 40. So firstly, we want to check for P operation 2. So from P operation 2, we have that if we follow this format given to us, we find out that P is equals to P and Q is equals to what? 2. That is for P operation 2. Then we say that secondly, for P equation 1, this implies that P is equals to P and Q is equals to what? 1. So we are going to say hence P operation 2 is equals to 2P plus P times Q. We have that Q is 2 plus what? Q, which is what? 2. Then we have P operation 1 is equals to what? 2P plus P times 1 plus what? 1. So this is equals to 2P plus 2P plus 2, and this is equals to 2P plus P plus what? 1. So putting it into the equation, we have that P operation 2 minus P operation 1 is equals to 40, right? So we have this to be 2P plus 2P plus 2 minus 2P plus P plus 1 is equals to what? 40. So we have 2P plus 2P is going to give us 4P plus 2 minus 2P plus P is going to give us 3P plus 1, and this is equals to what? 40. So we have 4P plus 2 minus 3P, minus times plus is minus 1, and this is equals to what? 40. So 4P plus 3P is going to give us P plus 2 minus 1 is 1, and this is equals to what? 40. So P is equals to 40 minus 1, and P is equals to 40 minus 1 is what? 39. So we have been able to find the value of P, and the value of P in this question is what? 39. That makes A to be the correct what? Option. So let's take a look at the next question. Question number 8 says, which of the following is a measure of central tendency? We have A, standard deviation, B, range, C, variance, and D is mean. Now the measure of central tendency is what? Mean. So the answer to this question is what? D. So let's take a look at question number 9. Alright, now question number 9 says, from the figure above, find the length of the chord PQ. So we have to find PQ right here. Okay, now from the figure we have that the length of the chord is given as this is equals to 2 r sine theta over 2, where r represents the what? Radius. Okay, now from the figure, theta is equals to, now since they gave us theta to be 30 degree, and since theta is dividing 2, this implies that theta is what? 60 what? Degree, and not what? 30 degree. Okay, just because if 60 divided 2 is the same thing as 30, so that implies that theta is what? 60 degree. Okay, and the radius is given as what? From the figure we have that radius is what? 9 centimeter. Okay, so therefore we have that the length of the chord is equal to, this is 2 times our r, which is radius, is given as 9, sine theta, which is 60, divide what? 2. So this is equals to 2 times 9 is going to give us 18, sine 60 divided 2 is what? 30, which is equals to 18 times 9. Sine 30 are special angles, so sine 30 is what? 1 over 2, which is equals to 2 here 1, 2 into 18 is 9, so 9 times 1 is 9 centimeter. So the length of the chord PQ is equals to what? 9 centimeter. So we have been able to solve question number 9 right here. So let's take a look at question number 10. Now question number 10 says, identify the equation of the shaded region in the given graph. Now we want to look at the given graph carefully. Now if you look at it, you find out that this has broken lines, which implies that this is a straight inequality right here. Now this simply implies that it's not going to have greater than or equal to or less than equal to, because of the what? Broken lines. Okay, and let's look at the part shaded. Now if you look at the part shaded, you note that the part shaded is at the right hand side of the graph. Now since it's at the right hand side of the graph, this implies that this is greater than, and the axis in which it is shaded is the x axis, and from here we find out that the point is given as 1, so this implies that x is greater than 1. So from here we have that C to be the what? Correct option. All right, so let's go on to question 11. Now question 11 says, In how many ways can 6 people sit round a table? Now we know that the number of ways is given as n minus 1 what factorial table, right? So this is the formula if you have to find the number of ways. So we have that. So this implies that for 6 people, this is equals to 6 minus 1 what factorial, which is equals to 6 minus 1 is what 5 factorial, which is equals to 5 factorial can be expressed as 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, and this is equals to what 120. Okay, that implies that A is the correct answer. The number of ways that 6 people can sit around a table is what 120, so that makes A to be the correct option. So let's go on to question number 12. All right, so we have question number 12 here. Question number 12 says the graph above represents which inequality? Now you take a look at the option. Now we have to find which of the inequality does the graph represent. All right, so the first thing you want to take a look at is that it has broken lines, which implies that it is not a straight inequality. Now that means that it's not going to have less than equal to or greater than equal to. It's not going to have this right here. So we know that it is either greater than or less than. So let's check if it is less than or greater than. Now if you take a look at the shaded region right here, we have it to be at the left hand side, that is it is shaded below. So since it's shaded below, this implies that it is less than. Okay, this implies that it is less than. So we have it to be what 3x plus 4y is less than 12. If you take a look at the graph properly, so if it is less than 12, this implies that x is greater than equal to 0 and y is greater than equals to what 0. So from here, looking at this, we find out that D to be the what correct what option. Okay, so this is how you can easily read a graph such as this right here. You take a look at the line. If it is a straight line or a broken line, then you take a look at the part shaded. So once you do that right there, you'll be able to find that if it is less than or greater than, less than or equal to right there. Okay, so let's go on to the next question. All right, so we have question number 13. Let A be equal to 2, negative 4, 3, 5, 1, and 0, and B be equals to 1, 4, negative 2, minus 3, 3, and negative 1. Find A plus 2B. Okay, so the first thing guys we want to do, let's simply know that A is equals to what? 2 minus 4, 3, 5, 1, and what 0. Okay, now plus 2b, so 2b is equals to 2 times, now we have b to be 1, 4, negative 2, negative 3, 3, and negative 1. Okay, so this is equal to 2 times 1, we have it to be 2, 2 times 4, we have it to be 8, 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, 2 times negative 2 is going to give us negative 6, 2 times 3 is going to give us 6, and 2 times negative 1 is going to give us negative what 2. So we have that A plus 2B is equal to 2 minus 4, 3, 5, 1, 0 plus 2b, and we have 2b to be 2, 8, negative 4, negative 6, 6, and what negative 2. So from here, this is equal to, we have this to be 2 plus 2, which is this and this. Then from here we have this and this, which is negative 4 plus 8. Then this and this, we have 3 plus negative 4. Okay, then we have 5 and negative 6, which is 5 plus negative 6. We have 1 plus 6 and 0 plus negative 2. So this is equal to 2 plus 2 is 4. Negative 4 plus 4 is going to give us what? 4. 3 plus minus 4 is the same thing as 3 minus 4, which is going to give us negative 1. 5 plus minus 6 is going to give us negative 1. 1 plus 6 is 7. 0 plus minus 2 is going to give us what? Minus 2. So we have this to be our answer. So let's simply check out the option right here. So we have 4, 4, negative 1. It's no, we don't have it to be. So let's simply look at the first option right here. For the first option, we have 4, 4, negative 1, negative 1, 7, and negative 2. So we have that A to be the correct what? Option. So let's take a look at the next question. Question number 14 says, the sum up to infinity of a GP is 100, where GP is the geometric progression. Find its first term if the common ratio is negative 1 over 2. Now the sum of an infinity is given as A over 1 minus r. Since from the question we know that 1 is greater than what? Arrow, because the common ratio is -1/2. So 1 is greater than arrow. If it is arrow greater than 1, now the sum of infinity will be given as a divide arrow minus 1. So you want to take note of this formula right here. Okay, so from here we know that a is the first term, arrow is a common ratio, and we already know the value of the sum of what? Infinity. So we have the sum of infinity is equals to 100 from the question. We are looking for a, and arrow is equals to -1 over what? 2. So putting the parameters into the equation, we have that 100 is equals to a divide 1 minus into -1 over 2. So this is equals to a divide 1 plus 1 over 2, which is equals to a divide, you look for the LCM, it is 2. This is over 1. 1 divide 2 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 2 divide 2, 1. 1 times 1 is 1, which is equals to a divide 2 plus 1 is 3 over what? 2. So we have 100 is equals to, so rearranging this can be written as a divide 3 over 2. So 100 is equals to a times what? 2 over what? 3. Okay, so we have that 100 is equals to a times 2 is 2a divide what? 3. So you cross multiply, we have 100 times 3 is equals to what? 2a. So from here we have this to be 100 times 3 is 300, which is equals to what? 2a. Divide both side by 2 to isolate a. This we cancel out this, so we have that a is equals to 300 divided 2 is going to give us what? 150. So we know that the first term a is equals to 150. So from the option we have that a to be the correct what? Answer. So let's go on to the next question. Okay, so question number 15 says PQ arrow is a triangle such that PQ is equals to Q arrow is equals to 8 centimeter and QP arrow has an angle of 60 degree. Find the area of the triangle PQ arrow. Okay, so let's say this is a triangle right here, and we have that PQ arrow is a what? A side in the triangle, whereby PQ and Q arrow is what? 8 centimeters. So this is 8 centimeter, this is what? 8 centimeter, and the angle is given as what? 60 degree. So we have to find the area of the angle PQ arrow. Now the area of a triangle is given as 1 over 2 times a times b times what? Sine theta, where a is equals to b and this is equals to what? 8 centimeter from the question right here. Okay, and from the question we know that theta is equals to what? 60 degree. So therefore we have that area is equals to 1 over 2 times 8 times 8, which is 8 for the first 8 belongs to a, the second 8 belongs to b, times sine theta, which is sine 60 what? Degree. So this is equals to 1 over 2 times 8 times 8 is going to give us 64 times what? Sine 60 degree. Alright, so we have that this is equals to 1 over 2 times 64 times, now sine 60 degree are special angles, so sine 60 degree, since it's a special angle, this is equals to root 3 over what? 2. So we have this to be root 3 over what? 2. Okay, so this is equals to 1 times 64 times root 3 is going to give us 64 root 3 divide 2 times 2 is going to give us what? 4. Okay, and this is equals to 4 here 1, 4 into 64 is 16, so we have this to be 16 root 3 centimeter what? Square. So from the option we have that a to be the correct what? Answer. So this is how you can solve this question right here. So let's go on to question number 16. Question number 16 says the Venn diagram above shows the number of students offering physics and chemistry in a class of 65. From the diagram, we know that 30 students offer chemistry and 45 students offered what? Physics. Now, what is the probability that a student selected from the class offers physics and chemistry if every student offers at least one subject? Okay, so from the Venn diagram above, we know that the student offering chemistry is 30, physics of is what? 45. So we can say number of students, the number of students is given as what? 65. The number of students offering chemistry from the diagram is what? 30. Number of students offering physics is equals to what? 45. Now, number of students offering both physics and chemistry, we are looking for that, so we're going to call this what? X. So from the Venn diagram, this is 30 minus x because we did not know the exact number of students that offers just chemistry. Now the number of students that offer both is x, then the number of students that offer just physics is what? 45 minus what? X. So from here we have this to be 65, which is the total number of students, is equal to 30 minus x, which is for chemistry, plus x, which is for the student that offer both, plus 45 minus x, which is for the student that offered what? Physics. So we have that 65 is equals to 30 plus 45 is going to give us 75, minus x plus x is 0, 0 minus x is going to give us what? Minus x. So from here we have this to be 65 minus 75 is equals to minus x. 65 minus 75 is minus 10, which is equals to what? Minus x. So this we cancel out this. So therefore we have that x is equals to 10. So we have been able to find the number of students that offered both physics and chemistry. So in order for us to solve for the probability of students offering both subjects, now the probability of students offering both subjects, this is equal to, now both subjects we have it to be 10 divide the total number of students that offered physics and chemistry, which is what? 65. Okay, so this is equals to 5 into 10 is going to give us what? 2. 5 into 65 is going to give us what? 13. So the probability of a student that offers physics and chemistry is 2 over 13, and that makes A to be the correct what? Option. Question number 17. From the top of a building 10 meter high, the angle of elevation of a fruit on top of a tree is 25 meter, is 30 degree. Calculate the horizontal distance between the building and the tree. So let's use this diagram to illustrate this. So we have this to be a building. Let's call this a building right here, and the question says the top of the building is 10 meter high. That is to say the height of the building is what? 10 meter. Okay, so if this is 10 meter, this implies that this is also what? 10 meter. And they say the angle of elevation of a fruit on top of the tree. So let's call this the tree right here on top of the tree. This is the fruit on top of the building, and we have that the elevation of the fruit on top of the tree is what? 25 what? Meter high. That is to say the tree plus the building is what? 25 meter high, and we already know that this is 10 meter high. So if this is 10 meter high, 10 minus 25 is what? 15 meter. This implies that the building has 10 meter and the fruit has 15 meter, and if we add them together, this is going to give us what? 25 meter, and this is for the what? Tree, and this is the what? Building. Okay, and it is what? 30 degree. That is to say the angle here is what? 30 what? Degree. So we have to calculate the horizontal distance between the building and the tree. This is the horizontal distance between the building and the tree. So this is x, and if here is x, this implies that this is also what? X. So we have to calculate x, which is the horizontal what? Distance. And from here, applying SOHCAHTOA, we have that TOA is equals to what? Opposite over adjacent. So from here we have the opposite to be 15 centimeter and the adjacent to be x. So we have this to be tan theta is equals to opposite, which is 15, divide adjacent, which is x. Now how did we get the 15 meter? We said that the angle of elevation from the fruit to the building is 25 meter, and we already know that from the top of the building it is 10 meter high. So to get the height of the tree, we have to subtract 25 minus 10, which is 15. That is from this point up to this point to be what? 15 what? Meters. So this is how we got this. So we have that tan theta, we have the degree to be 30 degree is equals to what? 15 over x. Now tan theta is a special angle, so tan theta is 1 over the root of 3, which is equals to what? 15 divide what? X. Okay, so making x subject of formula, we have that x is equals to 15 divide 1 over the root of what? 3. So coming here, we have this to be x is equals to 15 divide 1 over the root of 3. X is equals to 15 times the root of 3 divide 1. So x is equals to 15 root what? 3 meters. Okay, so we have been able to calculate the horizontal distance, and from the option we have A to be the correct what? Answer. All right, so this is how you can solve this question right here. So let's go on to question number 18. Question number 18 says A boy bought oranges at the rate of 24 naira for 5 and sold it at the rate of 30 naira for 4 oranges. Find the profits made of the ones sold. So the first thing, guys, we are going to calculate the cost price for one orange and the selling price for one orange. So we are going to say the cost price per orange, that is the cost price for one orange, is equal to, now we said that the boy bought oranges at the rate of 24 naira for 5. So the cost price for 100, we are going to divide 24 divide what? 5, which is equals to 4.8. So this implies that the boy bought one oranges for 4.8 naira. So we have been able to calculate the cost price for one orange. So next we want to calculate the selling price for one orange, that is selling price per orange. Now it sold it at the rate of 30 naira for 4 oranges. So we have 30 divide what? 4, and this is equals to 7.5 naira. Okay, so this implies that the boy sold one orange for 7.5 naira. So let's calculate the profit he had for one orange. So they say profits per orange is equals to selling price minus what? Cost price, which is equals to 7.5 minus what? 4.8, and this is equals to 2.7. So the profit he made for one orange is 2.7 what? Naira. So the question says we are to find the profits made of the ones sold. So he sold 4 oranges at the rate of 30 naira. So we are going to say the profits made for 4 oranges is equal to 4 times the profit made for one orange. So the profits he made for one orange is 2.7. We are just going to multiply it for the profits made for the 4 oranges is sold, and when we multiply this, we have this to be 10.8. So the profits the boy made for 4 oranges is 10.8 naira. So that makes C to be the correct what? Option. So let's go into question number 19. Okay, so question number 19 says differentiate y equals to 5x plus 1 or raised to the power of 4. Now taking a look at this question right here, we are going to apply the product rule, and the product rule states that if we have dy dx, this is equals to dy du multiply du dx. So this is the formula for product rule, or you can easily say this right here. Now since this is a JAMB question and all the questions are objective, now you can either make use of this formula right here that says write down the power. We have this to be write down the power. That is the first thing you will do. Differentiate the brackets. We are going to ask you to do what? Rewrite the what? Brackets. Okay, and lastly, subtract 1 from the what? Power. Subtract 1 from the power. So this is the rule. So I'm going to apply the second rule before applying the first what? Rule right here. Okay, so for the first rule, we have that write down the power. We have the power to be 4. Multiply, differentiate the bracket. If you differentiate 5x plus 1, that is, if you differentiate 5x plus 1, this is equals to what? 5. Okay, so we have 5. Now we write the bracket. We have it to be 5x plus 1 and subtract 1 from the power, which is 4 minus 1. So we have 4 multiplied 5 is 20 into 5x plus 1. 4 minus 1 is what? 3. So we have been able to have this right here. Of this, that is for the second option. So for the first option that says dy dx is equals to dy du multiply du dx. So the first thing we are going to say is let u be equals to what? 5x plus 1. So we have that y is equals to what? U raised to the power of 4. So the first thing you want to do, differentiate u with respect to x. So we have du dx is equals to, if you differentiate 5x plus 1, we are going to have this to be 5. That is differentiating u with respect to x. Now for the second one, you differentiate y with respect to u. So we have that du dy, which is write down the power. Then you subtract 1 from the power, which is 4 minus 1 is going to give us what? 3. So we have this right here. So putting this into the equation that says dy dx is equals to dy du multiply du d what? X. So this is equals to dy du is 4u raised to the power of 3 multiply du dx is what? 5, which is equals to 4 multiplied 5 is 20, and we have that u is equals to what? 5x plus 1 all raised to the power of 3, and we have this right here. So as you can see right here, we got the same answer from using the second method and using the first what? method. So from this, we have our answer to be what? A, which is the correct option. So let's go into question number 20. Alright, so question number 30 says we should simplify 5 plus root 7 divide 3 plus root 7. So the first thing you want to do is to multiply the denominator and the numerator by the conjugate of 3 plus root 7. Now this implies that the conjugate of 3 plus root 7 is equals to what? 3 minus root 7. As some persons will say rationalize, so simply rationalize this. So we have 5 plus root 7 divide 3 plus root 7. If you multiply it with the conjugate or simply rationalize, and we have that the conjugate is what? 3 minus the root of 7 divide 3 minus the root of what? 7. So this is equal to 5 plus root 7 multiply 3 minus root 7 divide. Now for the denominator, we have 3 plus root 7 multiply 3 minus the root of 7. Now for the denominator, if you apply this property that says if you have a plus b multiply a minus b, this is equals to a square minus what? B square for the denominator right here. So this is equal to, now let's simply expand the numerator. 5 times 3 is going to give us 15 minus 5 times root 7 is going to give us 5 root 7 plus root 7 multiplied 3 is 3 root 7 plus times minus is minus. Root 7 times root 7 is going to give us root 7 all square divide. So apply this property to the denominator. We have this to be 3 square minus the root of 7 what? All square. So this is equals to 15 minus 5 root 7 plus 3 root 7 is going to give us minus 2 root 7 minus this, we cancel out this, we have this to be 7 divide 3 square is 9 minus this, we cancel out this, we have this to be what? 7. So we have this to be equal to 15 minus 7 is going to give us 8 minus 2 root 7 divide 9 minus 7 is going to give us what? 2. So factor out 2 from the numerator, we have this to be 2. If you factor out 2, we have 4 minus the root of 7 divide what? 2. So this we cancel out this, so therefore we have this to be 4 minus the root of what? 7, and this becomes the answer. So we have 4 minus the root of 7 to be the correct answer. So from the question, we have that B is the correct option. Alright, so let's go on to the next question. Find the perimeter of a triangle whose vertices pass through 3 and 2, 4 and 5, 6 and 2 in surd form. Find the perimeter of a triangle. So this is our triangle right here. Okay, this is the triangle, and we have the points here to be 3 and 2. We have the points here to be 4 and 5, and the other point to be what? 6 and what? 2. Okay, so let's call this Q, call this P, and call this what? R. That is PQ R. So let's simply find the perimeter. So we have that PQ is equal to the square root of what? X2 minus x1 all square plus y2 minus y1 all square. The first thing we want to do is to solve for PQ. So if we are solving for PQ, we know that P is equals to 3 and 2 and Q is equals to what? Sorry, we have that P is equals to 6 and 2 and Q is equals to what? 3 and what? 2. Okay, so from this we have that P, this is x1 y1 and this is x2 what? Y2. So for PQ, this is equal to the square root of x2. We have x2 to be 3 minus x1, which is 6 all square, plus y2, we have y2 to be 2 minus y1, we have y1 to be 2 all square. So this is equal to the square root of 3 minus 6 is going to give us minus 3 all square plus 2 minus 2 is 0 square, which is equals to the square root of minus 3 square is 9 plus 0 is 0. So we have that the square root of 9 is equals to what? 3. So we know that PQ is equals to what? 3. So let's simply solve for, we've solved for P and what? Q. Okay, so let's solve for Q and R. Alright, so we're going to say QR is equal to the square root of the same formula, x2 minus x1 all square plus y2 minus y1 all square. From here we know that Q is equals to what? 3 and 2 and R is equals to what? 4 and what? 5. Alright, so let's simply solve this. So we have that QR is equal to the square root of, so this is x1 y1 x2 y2. So we have that x2 is 4 minus x1, which is 3 all square, plus y2, we have that y2 is what, 5 minus y1, which is 2 all square. So this is equal to the square root of 4 minus 3 is 1 square, plus 5 minus 2, we have it to be what, 3 square, and this is equal to the square root of 1 square is 1 plus 3 square is 9, and this is equals to the square root of 1 plus 9 is what, 10. So we have that q arrow is equals to the root of what, 10. So next we want to solve for, now we have been able to solve for q arrow, so lastly we want to solve for p and what, arrow. Okay, so we want to solve for p and arrow, and we have p is 6 and 2 and arrow is 4 and 5. Okay, so we say p is equals to what, 6 and 2, and we have arrow is equals to what, 4 and what, 5. So we say p arrow is equal to the square root of, we have x2 minus x1 or square, plus y2 minus y1 or what, square. So this is equal to the square root of, this is x1 y1 x2 y2, so we have 4 minus x1, which is 6 all square, plus y2, which is what, 5 minus 2 what, all square. So this is equal to the square root of 4 minus 6 is minus 2 all square, plus 5 minus 2 is 3 what, all square. So this is equal to the square root of minus 2 square is 4 plus 3 square, which is what, 9, and this is equals to the square root of 9. 4 plus 9 is what, 13. So we have p arrow is equals to what, the root of 13. So the question says we have to find the perimeter of the triangle whose vertices pass through this point. Alright, so we have been able to find all the points right here. We know what pq is 3, q arrow is the root of 10, and p arrow is what, the root of 13. So hence we are going to say the perimeter of the triangle is equals to PQ plus Q arrow plus what, P arrow. So which is equals to PQ is 3 plus Q arrow, which is the root of 10, plus P arrow, which is the root of what, 13, and this is the final answer. So we have 3 plus the root of 10 plus the root of 13. So let's take a look at the option right here. First off, from the option we have that 3 plus the root of 10 plus the root of 13, and this makes C to be the correct what, answer. So let's go on to question number 22. Alright, so question number 22 says find the seventh term of the sequence minus 10, 50, minus 250, and so on. We are to find the seventh what, term. So we have that Cn is equals to a arrow raised to the power of n minus 1, which is the geometric progression. Alright, so this error n represents the number of terms, a represents the first term, and arrow represents the common what, ratio. So we have that n is equals to what, 7, a, which is the first term, is minus 10, and arrow, which is the common ratio. So find the common ratio is 50 divide negative 10, that is arrow 2 divide arrow 1, and this is equals to minus what, 5. So we have the common ratio to be minus 5, and we are looking for C7 right here, which is the seventh term. So we have that C7 is equals to a, which is minus 10, multiply arrow, which is minus 5, raised to the power of n minus 1, which is 7 minus 1, which is equals to minus 10 multiply minus 5 raised to the power of 7 minus 1 is 6. So this is equals to minus 10 multiply minus 5 raised to the power of 6 is going to give us 15,625. So this is equals to minus 10 times 15,625. This is going to give us minus 156,250. So we just have to simply add 0 to this, and we get our answer right here. So from this, looking at the option, we have C to be the correct what, answer. So let's go on to question number 23. Alright, so question number 23 says the scores of students in a test are recorded as follows: 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2, 5, 7, 8, 3, and 5. Finding mode of the mark. Now what does mode implies? Mode simply means the number that appears most. Now if you take a look at this, 4 appear once, 3 appears 1, 2, 3, 3 appears 3 times, 2 appears 2 times, 1 appear once, 5 appears 2 times, 7 appears once, and 8 appears what, once. So the number that occurs most is what, 3. So therefore we say that the mode is equals to what, 3, which makes B to be the correct what, option. So let's go on to question number 24. 2 points P and Q are joined by a straight line in a plane. If the midpoint of the line is 9 and 6, find the value of x. So we have that the first point has x and 4, the Q has 10 and 8, and we have to find the value of what? X. So the first thing we want to know is to find the formula for the midpoint, okay? Now midpoint of x is given as x1 plus x2 divide what? 2. Same thing goes for the midpoint of y. Midpoint of y is given as y1 plus y2 divide what? 2. So we have this right here, and we say that if the midpoint of the line is 9 and 6, and we given that the midpoint is what? 9 and what? 6. Find the value of x. So we want to simply find the midpoint of what? X. So for this part, we know that 9 represents x and 6 represents y. For the midpoint, we should have p, which is x and 4, q, which is what? 10 and 8. So we have this to be x1 y1, x2 y2. All right, so we're going to say for the midpoint of x, which is equals to x1 plus x2 divide 2. Now the midpoint of x is given as what? 9, which is equals to x1. We have x1 to be x plus x2, which is 10, divide what? 2. You cross multiply. We have this to be x plus 10 is equals to 2 multiply 9. X plus 10 is equals to 2 times 9 is 18. X is equals to 18 minus 10, and x is equals to what? 8. All right, so we have been able to find the value of x, and the value of x is 8. So from the option, we have C to be the correct what? Answer. And lastly, guys, let's take a look at question number 25. Okay, so question number 25 says find x if 16 raised to the power of 2 plus x divide 4 is equals to 64 raised to the power of x. So we have 16 raised to the power of 2 plus x divide 4 is equals to 64 raised to the power of x. First thing, guys, cross multiply. So we have 16 raised to the power of 2 plus x is equals to 4 multiply 64 raised to the power of x. Now 16 can be expressed in terms of 4 as 4 raised to the power of 2, or raised to the power of 2 plus x is equals to 4. Now this can be raised to the power of 1. Multiply 64 can be expressed in terms of 4 as 4 raised to the power of 3, or raised to the power of x. So we want to simply open up this bracket right here. So we have this to be 4 raised to the power of 2 multiply 2 plus x is equals to 4 raised to the power of 1 multiply 4 raised to the power of what? 3x. From the property of exponent, if we have a raised to the power of n multiply a raised to the power of n, this is equals to a raised to the power of n plus n. All right, so from here we have this to be 4 raised to the power of 2 into 2 plus x is equals to 4 raised to the power of 1 plus what? 3x. So from here, since the bases are the same, all we have to do is to equate the powers or the exponents. So from here we have that 2 into 2 plus x is equals to 1 plus what? 3x. So we have 2 times 2 is 4 plus 2 times x is 2x is equals to 1 plus what? 3x. So from here we have this to be, collecting like terms, we have 2x minus 3x is equals to 1 minus what? 4. 2x minus 3x is minus x, which is equals to 1 minus 4 is going to give us minus 3. So minus, we cancel out minus. So therefore we have that x is equals to what? 3. And this is the answer. So from this we find out that A is the correct what? Option. So right here, guys, this is question number 1 to 25 in JAMB CBT examinations for 2024, and this is the part 1 of this video. So right here, guys, in the next video, which is the part 2, I'm going to solve questions from question number 25 to 50 right here. So with this, guys, I'm going to see you in the next video, and do not forget to subscribe to Mathematical Mindsets.